I'm Ray and this is TinyTableGames. Well, it didn't go so well for Red in the last game of Final Girl, but today we're going to try again against the Big Bad Wolf in the Storybook Woods, but this time we'll be using Gretel, who is the other Final Girl that comes in the Storybook Woods feature film, as it were. So, come along with me and let's see how Gretel makes out, if she does any better at all than Red. All right, so we're back at the table. I have already randomly drawn the finale card and the dark power card. He has his 10 health points again, his 2 bonus tokens, which we never even got to the last time, thanks to his ability to eat everything in sight. We got all our villagers out here, / victims, that we'll place on the Storybook Woods here in a moment, as soon as we do the setup thing. And the Final Girl and the Big Bad Wolf thing. He starts off on 5 as usual, 6 points there. We're using Gretel this time, who has 1 more health point than Red did. And her superpower is different than Red's. For each additional victim saved, you receive 1 less horror, which is pretty cool. And you convert a 2 to a success by discarding 3 action cards, which is probably almost never going to be useful, but at least it's something you can do. Okay, this time it's Breadcrumb Trail. Wow, so we've got 1 person over here in the dell, 1 person in the unnamed little area, 5 people in the glen. Guess they're having a party down there, or they're hobbits or something. 4, 5. 2 people at the gingerbread house. Well, it is Gretel after all. Gretel herself is not at the gingerbread house. She is in the middle of town. The killer is almost next door, except there's no direct path there. Whoop, this toll bridge isn't there anymore. To get from where he is at, he has to either come up to here and over and again, or down and way around. So that's interesting. Another victim here, another victim in the meadow, and a victim here. Okay. So as you can see, it's already potentially, depending on what those cards are, a much different setup than the last game. Okay, so with the item cards all shuffled up, it's 4 to each location. So hopefully something good's in there this time, besides just a knife, which honestly I don't even think she never even used it in that last game. Poor old Red. Just used her bow and arrow, which basically had no impact on the Big Bad Wolf, which I suppose thematically is accurate, unless she's using silver arrowheads, but still. I don't know. I guess you should have called somebody from the Ventru clan. Anyway. All right, so there's the items set up. The Terror deck, as you recall, you combine the Terror cards from the Big Bad Wolf expansion along with your Environment expansion, both of which come in the feature box, aka their expansion box after the core. Which is, again, where a lot of the versatility in this game comes in. All right, so 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the rest of those will get sorted out and put back into their respective boxes afterwards. We just don't want to look at them now, so it doesn't spoil any surprises. Okay, your starting hand of cards is always your 0 action only. So let me filter those out. A lot of sorting after you finish a game of this. Okay, so there's the 6 starting 0 cards, 2 walks, 2 focus, a short rest, and a weak attack. With all that, I think we are good to go for playing Gretel versus the Big Bad Wolf. Okay, at the start of the round, we have the action phase where I play my action cards. But who can I rescue today? Let us try... Oh... You know, actually, I think I might try focusing right off the bat. Is that worthwhile? See, that's what happened to me last game, is I burned my entire hand out and left me with almost nothing to do on the next turn. Since I couldn't afford to do much, because I kept blowing it on bad rolls. But we're going to try it anyway, because, hey. So, focuses, in theory, will be awesome. We're rolling 2 dice because it starts at 5 horror, because that's the Big Bad Wolf for you. And we have no successes. And there's nothing I can do to mitigate that, so we just lose 2 points of time. Well, that's... Wow. Okay. We're going to move on to walking then, because that stung. And we have 1 success, which allows you to move 1 space. So at least I can get to where everybody's hanging at, and it costs 1 time. And I will attempt to walk again, because I really want to not have the big bad wolf come over there and scatter all those people to the wind when it's so easy to do that, to gather them up right now. And yes, I know I'm burning points, or burning, oh, sorry about that, burning, hey, double success. I lose 1 time again, so now I'm down to 2 time. That focus stank, and I can move 2 spaces. Well, fortunately, I can also take 2 people with me. So I'm going to take these 2, 1, 2, down to here with me. I could have left 1 here, but having them spread around in slightly different locations may come in handy. Also, it slows down the killer. I mean, harsh but true. Okay, now I'm going to do something stupid. I'm going to try and focus again, because I'm optimistic that way. So 1 success. So I lose 1 time, so I'm down to 1 time, but the horror goes down 1, so it's down to 4. I was really hoping for 2 successes where I could buy some time back. So, is there worth... Nope, I'm already... well, that's that. There's nothing else I can do. Okay, we are on to the planning phase. I only have a single point to spend. The only thing you can buy for 1 point is a reroll, so I will do that. And I will be stuck here with those people next time because I didn't have enough to buy a movement card, which was foolish, but oh well. The time resets back to 6. Now that the purchasing planning phase is done, I can restore these cards because you can't use them twice in a row for the focus and the walk for next time. Okay, and we're on to the killer phase. We're still in hunt mode, which is go to the closest one and stand there. So the closest one for him is out here in the meadow, and draw a terror card. Terror card says, the claws that scratch. So move to the closest one, did that. For you and every victim in the big bad wolf space, increase bloodlust. So his increased bloodlust goes up 1, even though he hasn't actually killed anybody yet, because he's still in hunt mode, which won't last too long because he's only got to get 1 bloodlust increase for his dark power to activate, which is when he's no longer hunting, he's on to killing. Okay, nobody panicked because nobody died. Upkeep phase, I have nothing to upkeep yet. So we are back to actions, where I stand there and nod to myself about how dumb it was to not buy any walk actions. And we're on to the planning phase, where I have a full 6 because I did nothing. All right, so this time we're buying 2 sprints for 4 points. Takes us down to 2. Let's see, we can... Is it worth picking up the focus again? Let's see, it might be worth picking up the walk again though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards so far, so we will in fact buy the free walk cards. 6. And the tableau again is over here. I realize I don't show it all the time, but it's just a little inconvenient camera-wise. I haven't figured out a good way of doing that. Could try zooming out again, I guess. So I guess that's a little bit better. The only thing I don't like about that is it's harder to see the board. But as you can see, the tableau is over there. So zooming back in there, I just take my word for it, the tableau is over there. 2 points left. You don't get to keep anything from any of your carryover from planning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I've got 2 points left. That means I could buy a guard or a search. Ooh, yeah, well, I'm nowhere close to that, but it wouldn't hurt to have a search just in case, because otherwise I'm not picking up anything most likely. So I'll spend 2 points on a search. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I might as well use the 2 free focus cards because you don't have to pull everything out of your hand, and maybe I won't this time. And that ends the planning phase. Back up to 6. There's nothing else to do there. Killer phase, he's still in hunt mode, so he moves to the nearest one. He's still just standing there, and we trigger the terror card. I was carried like a rag doll. Move the killer 3 spaces towards grandmother's house. Okay. Let's see, closest route to grandmother's house. 1, 2, 3. Picking up and moving 1 victim with the killer. Okay, so congratulations, that person got to go for a ride. It's a long way to grandma's house from where he was, which is kind of good. And then it triggers an event. So let's see what the events is. Hansel. Wow, talk about appropriate. Follow me, I found something tasty. The victim closest to you is now Hansel. Okay, so that'd be this person. We'll put him upright so we can, or actually, there's a special victim, and this is now Hansel, hence the blue picture. Once per turn, whenever you move 1 space, you may move an additional space as long as Hansel remains with you for the movement. Wow. At the gingerbread house, you may replace Hansel with the normal victim to take any 1 item from the item card. If Hansel dies with you, increase blood rage by 2. If Hansel leaves play, discard this card. Huh. So he's a speed boost, but at the price of you keep having to drag him along with you. So you can only take 1 person at a time. Well, that'd be really neat, except for the part where I just want to keep moving and drag people out of here as fast as I can. So, I mean, it's kind of appropriate, though. How funny. Okay, Hansel. And notice the event goes with the Storybook Woods. So that is a specific event which, you know, Storybook Woods goes with Gretel also. So it ties together. Okay, that concludes the killer phase. Nobody died. He's just collecting people up here in the woods to kill soon. So nobody panics, though they probably should. Upkeep phase, there's nothing to upkeep unless you count slapping Hansel around for a minute. And we're on to the action phase. Well, I got 2 people right here. Time to try and walk. Because that might actually work out really good. So, rolling 2 dice still. Got 1 success, which means we move 1 space, but if we keep Hansel, we can move 2, and in this case, I'm going to. So, drag both of them with me, because you can move up to 2. For 1, now we're going to say goodbye to this person, which will buy us, oh boy, take a long rest action card. Well, that's tempting, except I'm already nearly full up. Gain a health, can't do that. Move up to 2 spaces. That is tempting, but not what I want right now, I don't think. Reduce the horror by 2. I mean, that's real tempting. In fact, I think I am going to do that, because that's just the gift that keeps on giving, Clark. So reduce horror by 2. We go down 1 point in time for using that walk. Normally you can only move once, but I'm keeping lazy little Hansel with me so I can move a 2nd space over to here. Now, time to do walking again. And no, I'm not going to burn all of my motion cards this time. 1 success, which is again all I need. It costs 1 time. You can move up to 1 space, which is, I could actually move 2 this time, but I don't want to keep Hansel with me. So we're back over here. And Hansel and whoever, which makes Hansel's card disappear into the event pile. Good for you, buddy. So I will now trigger add 2 time, so I'm back up to 6, and move 2 spaces, which will be 1, 2. Okay. So now I'm thinking I might use one of the sprints. Yeah, I know. Because things are looking pretty good. If I move up to 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, I could have 2 more guys down here, way away from that, and be already to the point of almost triggering her super ability, which would be pretty awesome. Or I could just move up to the village and search, which is also pretty awesome. Either way, it's probably worth doing it now, so I'm going to. Sprint, but I'm not going to use the other sprint card. Ah, sorry, buddy. So 1 success, which allows you to move 2 and costs 1 time. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened with that. There we go. Costs 1 time. Somehow that all got bumped around when I rearranged. All right, there we are. So, allows you to, whoops, upside down, move 2 and cost 1. So I spent the 1, time to move the 2. Well, I can bring these 2 happy lads with me, so 1, 2, up to the village. So that works, and now I will spend my search. Oh, should I spend a focus first? Hear me out. Reduce it once more, and I get 3 dice to roll. That seems real tempting, so we're going to do that first. We're going to hang out in the village and focus for a minute, maybe burn some sage, and we do it. Look at that. Gain 2 time, up to 7, and reduce the horror by 1. Who is afraid of the big bad wolf? Search. Man, Gretel seems to be a pro compared to how Red was doing, but it is still the first turn. Or second turn, but man. Okay, so now searching. Oh, 3 dice. Beg pardon. So that's 1 success. 1 success. Take the top item card at your space and spend 1 time. Let's see, we're at the village, so we will take the top village item card. Flowers. Huh, well, okay. May be used once per action phase to reduce the horror. Wow. That's actually all right. And it requires no hands, which kind of makes sense. Okay, well that was super successful. I'm not going to attempt to focus. There's nobody to attack. I'm not attacking the darkness. And that will end the action phase onto the planning phase. I still have 6 points of time to burn. I have 5 cards in my hand, so 5 more cards. Let's see. If I pick up the second search card, I can burn that first, so I'll probably do that. Or should I hang out for Critical Blow, which is a card I was never able to buy before because I was always too greedy. Man, that seems real tempting. I mean, the big bad wolf is tough to kill, but that's the only way to win the game. All right, I'm going to burn it all on Critical Blow just so I can hang on to it. And that takes us to the end of the planning phase, so reset to 6. The killer phase, we have not yet triggered Bloodlust, so he's moving to the nearest person, already did that, and sniffing at them, and on to Terror. If there are no victims, discard and draw the next Terror card. Otherwise, he moves to the nearest victim, increase the horror track by 1, well, back to 2 dice, and increases Bloodlust by 1. So as you can see, that's hardwired in. There's no way to go very long without it tripping his dark power, which in this game is the Destructive Roar once again. Remove from the game the item closest to where he's at, which is the gingerbread house. So his Destructive Roar of blowing the house down takes out songbirds. Well, that's sad. I like songbirds. Jerky old wolf. All right. And he now can move 3 spaces and still does 1 damage. So honestly, now might be the time to go charging right at him to do that killer blow. Okay. Panic phase, nobody died, amazingly. But they will next turn. And upkeep phase, there's nothing actually to upkeep. The flowers are still just the flowers. And notice the flowers are reusable. Once per action phase, if the horror level is 2 or higher, you can use it to reduce it. Well, you can bet that's going to come up every time. And notice you can use it 3 times. That's what these little spaces are for. And they give you these teeny tiny little tokens to put on spaces to do that with. Okay, so start of the action phase. First thing I'm going to do is use the flowers and bring the horror down by 1. So I'm using 3 dice again, which is amazing. And time to sprint. Because can't really do anything else just sitting there except searching. But I did not buy that because I went for critical blow. So, wow, that's an awful, awful roll. I'm going to use close call to reset for 2 time all the dice. Because that just messes with my plans. So there's 2 successes. 2 successes with a run, or a sprint, excuse me, lets you move 2 spaces and costs you 1 time. So there's my 1 time. And come on, guys, 1, 2. Down to the dell. So they're only 2 spaces away from getting out of town, which is pretty good considering that most of the villagers started in the glen, which is a long, long way from the exits. Okay. Do I want to do anything else? I could try focusing, but that's not going to buy me enough to matter. I can reduce the horror by 1 that way. Well, actually, it's already at 1, so if I reduce the horror again, I get a, that's interesting. If you reduce it again, and then again, you start picking up time for free. Oh, okay, why not? So it's at 1. I got 3 dice to use. Let's try and focus. 1 success, which costs me 1 time, but reduces the horror by 1, so I'm way into the green now. All right. And I've still got more uses of my flowers should it rise again. So I've got a short rest, critical blow, and weak attack. I'm nowhere near the guy to attack. And now looks like when we're going to start slaughtering villagers. But I've got probably on the next turn I'll be able to do something about that. Because I'll be able to buy all those motion cards again. Okay, started the planning phase. I got 2 points to spend. The obvious choice here is a 2-point sprint and pick up the walks that are free and recycled again, and the 1 focus that I can pick up. The other one I use so I can't pick it up quite yet. That's literally all I can spend, so that brings us back up to 6. I don't need to move the flowers because they're already as low as they can go for horror. Thank you, flowers. And we're on to the killer phase. He is in kill mode, so he moves to the nearest person and kills them. There's 1 right there, handy for him. That automatically increases his bloodlust by 1, so now he can move 3 and hits for 2. Now we trigger the terror card. On the hunt. Move twice towards the nearest person and attack them. Well, it's a short trip. He attacks again and goes up again. And because of his violence, he will panic adjacent people, but there is nobody adjacent. He killed everybody. The gingerbread house is actually 2 spaces away. So, well, there's been worse turns for the big bad wolf, but his damage level is going up, so Gretel needs to get in there and start whacking here. Wish she had something better than flowers to hit him with, though. Okay. There's nothing to upkeep. Nobody panicked because they all died. On to the action phase. Let's see. We will use the... No. Might as well just sprint. Got 3 dice. Use them. So that's 1 success and 2 almost successes, which gives you 2 spaces and costs 1 time. So down 1 time. 1, 2, which allows both of these guys to head out, which I know heals her, but she doesn't need healing, so that's a waste. And it allows you to take the long rest card, which is a 5-pointer for free. So that doesn't suck and is a massive healer. And I have 2, 4, 6, 7 now cards in my hand, so that's legal to do. And most importantly, besides that long rest, which is pretty cool. Gretel's ability is you may now activate a 2 to a success by discarding 3 action cards. That is not as awesome as Little Red's ability, I don't think, but, you know, cool. And I guess we'll leave her success rate over here for all the people she's rescued, just because. Bragging rights. Okay, so she moved 2. That was her first thing. Played the sprint, saved 2 people, activated her ability. So now she needs to get over there and start fighting. So we'll start with a walk. How far is it to the big bad from here? Quite a long ways. He's in that glen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I get close enough, I can draw him in towards me. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's about the same either way, with the advantage if I can drag some people with me. Or more importantly, at least you're closer to the items going this route than that route. All right, so walking. In any case, 3 dice still because the whore hasn't gone up yet. That is 1 success. My ability to roll poorly is in full force. That costs 1 time, and I move 1 space. There is 1 sprint in the backlog to buy, so I will use the second walk now. Wow. Well, I guess short rest and weak attack, which are both free, are going to go away. So I can have at least 1 success and move 1 space. And it costs 1 time. So I'm down to 3. Man, that was terrible. All right, that's about it for this round. For actions, we're on the planning phase. I got to use 2 of the points remaining to buy a sprint so I can get closer to the wolf this time. I've got 1 point left, which means I'll buy a close call, just in case, so I can land maximally with the critical blow. Which granted is hardly going to be the killing blow because it only does 3 and he's got a 10 at least, probably more, but we'll see. Because it's 11 with that, and then there's some number of between 0 and 3 hiding under that token. So he's actually got at least 11, as many as 14. Yikes. And my biggest blow does 3. Sure, this is going to go great. All right. Resets up to 6. That's it for the planning phase. Killer phase, he is moving 3 spaces now, so he'll move towards the nearest one, which in this case, there's more people in the glen than there is the gingerbread house, so he'll go there because they're equidistant, and there he will kill someone. And that bumps him up on the track, which gives him a bonus of 2 horror, which takes us from 0 to 2. Good thing I got those flowers. And now the terror card. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards after this one before the finale is triggered. And it says, place 2 new victims at grandmother's house and the killer recovers 1 heart. Well, he hasn't taken any damage yet, so. But 2 new folks down in grandma's house and trigger the event. A fairy ring. All victims on the glen disappear. Not killed, just somewhere else. Remove them from the game. Do not increase bloodlust. Wow, that's weird, but cool. So bye-bye, you 2. Thanks for coming out. At this point, since Gretel's already triggered her ability, the fewer victims on the board, the better, because that'll draw the wolf straight to me, which means I have less time I have to spend moving towards him. I can just start thumping him on the head instead. Okay, panic phase. People died, but there was nobody there to see it. Thanks to the fairy ring, they bailed before he killed everybody else. On to upkeep, I've got nothing to upkeep. I've had 1 use on the flowers, that got knocked off. And so we're on to the action phase where I will use the second round of my flowers to knock back into the green for the horror. Let's see. Is it worth focusing? Well, it's not going to do anything else for me, so we're going to sprint first. Don't have to get very far. And that's good, because wow. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Spending 2, well, man, do I want to do that? Let's see, focus, long rest. Yep, that's why I'm doing it. I would normally just say, oh, I'll do it for free. But I need at least 1 success to move, and I don't feel confident in that anymore. So, resets all of it so I can, maybe now use 2 rounds of the flowers. 1 success, 1 potential, and 1 miss, which is better than it could have been. All I need to do is move 2 because I have 1 success. That's all I need to get to the big bad. Hey, big guy. Me and my flowers got to take you down. Okay. Nothing to it but to do it. Critical blow. If I hit 3 times, I suppose it's dagger, dagger, dagger. So that's 1 hit, which is not bad, actually. That's 2 damage to the big bad. Reduces the horror by 1, and it reduces his bloodlust by 1. Which is pretty cool. That's not bad. And now, I'm going to use the focus in an effort to ramp up, hopefully, reduce the horror and buy time. If this works, I'll pick up 2 time for the focus plus 1 extra time because it's already down to 0, more or less, which would bump me from 4 to 7, which would be awesome for buying more attacks here in a second. And I got 1 success. I don't want to, I can't discard 1 card to make more successes, so it reduces the horror by 1, which gives me 1 time, and reduces 1 time, so it's a break even. My rolling, how many successes are on this die? There's 1, there's 1. So there's a 1 in 3 chance of succeeding. Wow. All right, you wouldn't know that from how I'm rolling. Okay, that's it for the action phase. We're on to planning. I've got 4 points left. He's definitely going to attack. So I need something that's cool. I think we're going with retaliate. Ignore all damage from attacks and do 2 damage back. That seems like the best thing to do. It's going to cost all 4, but he's definitely going to attack. So, and we're at 3 dice, so that's as good as it's going to get. So it resets to 6. Planning phase is over. On to the killer phase. His immediate activity is to move closest and attack, which he will do now. And it will do 2 damage, but I will activate retaliate right off the bat because I want to do 2 damage to him instead. I have 1 success. Reduce the damage by 1 and do 1 damage. Oh, reduce damage from an attack by 2. Cool, so he does no damage to me and I do 1 damage to him. So he is down to 7 plus 1 plus whatever's under the hidden one. And he's killed 3 people and taken 3 damage. So that's, even at least. And now the terror card. Place 2 victims on the gingerbread house. Gingerbread house is the place to be, apparently. If you are on, nope, I'm not, so it doesn't matter. Wish I was. That always comes up when I'm nowhere near that. And trigger an event. Primrose flowers. Whenever a victim enters the meadow or glen, they immediately panic. Huh. Okay. I don't really get that one, but all right. And that just stays there till whenever, I guess, till something else replaces it or at the end of the game. So this is a game themed around flowers, very much unlike the last game. And that concludes the killer's phase. Nobody panics because nobody died. Upkeep phase, there's nothing to upkeep. And we're back to actions. In the action phase, I've got a long rest, which is neat, but I haven't taken any damage. And so there's absolutely nothing to do except sit there and ponder in the middle of the glen amidst the primrose flowers, holding my extra flowers, how life is. I don't need any motion cards anymore. I got 6. Should I just buy Critical Blow again? I mean, maybe. The weak attack is available. It's free. There's not many cards that cause extra damage. Unless I go search for something, but I'm already with them hand to hand and I got 3 dice. I don't want to give that up. So I think we're going to burn all 6 on the Critical Blow again and a weak attack. And there we are. That leaves, well, a lot of other things available. I don't know that I need focuses and walks and short rests, but I will take all the freebies I can in case I miss and I need to pump up the cards, because that's where we're at with how we're rolling. Okay. So that takes care of the planning phase and used all of it. So now at the end of the planning phase, we reset up to 6. We're on to the killer phase again, where he will immediately attack. He's doing 2 damage to me. I don't believe I have anything to defend with because I didn't buy that, because I'm feeling aggressive. So I take 2 damage from Gretel. Poor old Gretel, but she's tough. Then we're on to the panic phase. Nobody panicked because nothing happened. Upkeep phase, there's nothing to upkeep, and we're right back to the activation phase, where I will drop the hand of cards. Okay, just to warm up, we're going to start with the weak attack. Well, actually, maybe we'll start with a short rest, since I have that. Or should I? Yeah, we'll start with the attacks. Weak attack. 1 success, 1 blow to him, and 1 blow to me. I will take that. 1 to me, 1 to him. And now we will do the short rest. Oh yeah. Get 2 hearts back, almost at full health. And that cost no time. So that's nice. That is a nice advantage of the weak attack. I hadn't really realized that. It doesn't cost you any time. Does the critical blow? No, it does not. Well, we're doing that now. So critical blow time. Wow. Okay. Obviously, I want both successes, so we're ditching both walks to make 1 success. And we'll ditch both focuses to make the other success. Man, I'm glad I took all those extras, although anyway, they're not available for use now, but still. So that's 2 successes on a critical blow. So that reduces it by 1 because it can't go lower on the horror track. That gives me 1 point of time, and it does 3 damage to the big bad wolf. So he is down to 3, 4, probably, plus whatever's down there. Okay. Is there anything else? No, just the long rest, which I don't need yet. Man, that was super successful. I'm hyped about that. Okay, now it's on to the planning phase. I've got 7 points to spend. 4 of them are going into a retaliate, so that brings us down to 3. Or should go into a furious strike. Now I can do just as much damage with that. And then spend 2 on a guard to negate damage. And the last point on a close call to improve the roll. So that resets to 6. Reset everything in the tableau. It is now the start of the killer's turn. He is, of course, going to attack immediately, to which I will respond with the retaliate. And hopefully get 2 successes, which I do. So that is awesome. There's 1 use left on these flowers, man. Those dice keep clobbering it. Gonna move it down a little lower there. All right, so ignore all damage, and he takes 2 more. That was worth it. And now the terror card. Take the top card of the village item deck. Wow, that's nice. Getting treats from Grandma. All right. Thanks, Grandma. I will take the top item from the village deck. Is it more flowers? How about an axe? It adds 1 to your damage. You may attack from an adjacent space. Oh, if you do, you throw it, basically. All right. So she's got flowers and an axe. And other than that, he just moves towards Final Girl and attacks. Big surprise. So he's already there. He doesn't have to move. The attack comes. Am I going to block it? I sure am going to block it. Why else would I buy this stuff? Guard. 1 success. Reduce the damage by 2. He's only doing 2 damage, so he is doing 0 damage. Gotta say, I'm kind of pleased about how this is working out at the moment. And at the end of the turn, he roars and throws away something from Grandma's house. And this time it is a pitchfork. That pitchfork just never sees any play, does it? Just keeps going away. I think I was supposed to do it one other time too, so we'll do it again just in case I missed it. Cage. What is with the cage? You may discard this item to retrieve songbirds. Okay. That's weird. All right. So, upkeep phase. No panic. On to the actions. I got a long rest and a close call because I used everything else. So we're straight on to the buying stuff phase in the planning. So let's see. There's Furious Strike and Critical Roll. Now he's got 2+ left. There's also the Weak Strike again. So I'm definitely picking up all the freebies to pump it up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 freebies. So that brings me to 8 cards with the long rest and the close call. So I think Critical Blow is going to be the way to go again because it just does the most damage. So, burning them all on Critical Blow, although he's going to whack me this time and there won't be anything I can do about it because I don't have Retaliate. I can buy it after this turn though. So we're just going to have to soak up the damage this time, but we've got the healing thing and he's not going to be able to one-shot kill us even with a bad terror card, I don't think. So that ends the planning phase. It resets the time to 6. What a different game this is from how it went for poor old Red. I think the difference so far has been that the spread of villagers was such that the Big Bad Wolf was able to just keep plussing up his rage every turn, like really fast. Okay, so we are on to the killer phase. He immediately attacks Gretel. He is doing 2 damage, so she just takes 2 damage. Nothing to do about that this time. And the terror card, let's see, move and attack. deal the big bad wolf's damage amidst as many victims as possible. If you're in the space, you take any remaining damage after all the victims are killed. That sounds weird, but that's because each victim only takes 1 point of damage to kill. So it's the cleaving, sweeping attack, if you will. But in this case, it's just 2 more damage. So she took a total of 4 this round, but she has 1 life left to live. So yay for you. All right, you survived. Nobody panics because nobody's there to witness it. They're all hiding either in the gingerbread house or grandma's house. There's nothing to upkeep. And we're back to the action phase. All right. First thing we're going to do is long rest. Because, yikes, she's 1 hit point away from being down and out. Wow, double success. That reheals 4 points and costs 1 time. But that's well worth it. That brings her up to 5, so she's only 1 point below total. That was definitely worth hanging on to, even though it took a while to use it. Okay. So now we're on to the big stuff. Critical blow. Come on, double success. Well, it will be a double success as soon as I throw away half these cards. Or burn the close call. Oh, is that worth it? Well, I'm not using the walk, so burn both walks. There's a success. The short rest could be handy. The weak attack I'm not getting rid of. The 2 focuses couldn't care less. They only exist to bring successes. So that's 3 hits, and it reduces the time again, or the horror again, so that bumps me back up to 6 on the time scale, and does 3 damage. So there's damage number 1. Here is damage number, oh no, he had 3 hearts under there. So let's give him 3 hearts. So 1, 2, 3. So he has 1 heart left there, plus some unknown amount under there. And that, like I said, is the part of the game where it represents the surprise factor. Okay. Oh, actually 1 extra damage. I forgot about the hatchet. So this is out too. That's awesome. Which means that we have to trigger this, and either the game is over or... Nope, he's got 1 point of health left. Man, I almost forgot the hatchet. Okay. She's got a weak attack left, and you can bet she's going to use it. 3 dice. She's only got to hit once. And she gets 1 success. Is she going to trade the blow with it for drama? Yep, she sure will. She'll be at 4 health, and the big bad wolf is defeated by Gretel with the hatchet in the glen amidst the primrose flowers. Wow, what a different ending. Isn't this game amazing for that? I really enjoy how it can just flip around and be completely different all of a sudden. Very interesting. And apparently there'll be a party at the gingerbread house or down at grandma's house based on how many villagers are hanging out there. Awesome.
And since it's the first victory with Gretel, it's time to see what the card is and what her special equipment item is. Gretel's knife. Oh, that's pretty cool. It does 2 damage, and it can still be dual-wielded. Very nice.
So there you have it. Red might not have been able to beat the big bad wolf, but Gretel did it handily, which just shows you how much this game can swing and why it's such a fun and exciting 1-player game. I hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly did. Don't forget, we've got more coming up, 2 more to be exact. In case you're wondering what I was looking at, is the other feature, which is the Sacred Groves rather than the Storybook Woods, and the Incanayamba Avenger, which I assume is something like a chupacabra based on that side picture. But we shall see. Regardless, it'll be 2 new final girls with the new big bad in a new location, and those will be the next 2 episodes of Tiny Table Games. I'm Ray. Thank you very much for Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a very nice day.